Good morning, everybody. Carolyn Vanslow here from Back to Basics Exercise Therapy. And while we're all working at home and in quarantine, I thought I'd put together a little bit of what I call a desk jockey quick break. This shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to do. It's a good way to get oxygen into your body, get things moving, and you'll actually end up with more energy. Before we get started, I just have to let you know that this is not to be used as medical advice. As long as your medical team is okay with you doing exercise, that's great. This is not vigorous exercise, but I do have to put that disclaimer in there. So let's get started. What we're going to need is we're going to need a block like this, or you could use some decorator pillows. I like to use two to get a little bit more intensity. This is an ottoman, but you can use a chair instead of that, or you could, no, that's about it, an ottoman or a chair. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with the warm-up. I'm sure all of us are feeling a little tension around the neck and shoulders. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our feet about hip width apart. Now women tend to do this and think it's hip width apart. It's really not. It's just your hips are right here. In spite of where you think they are, they're right here. And you want to have both feet across from each other. And you don't want to have one foot ahead of the other one, nor do you want to have one foot turned out. So we're going to start like this. And we're going to start with shoulder rolls, and we're going to go forward first, and we're going to roll those shoulders, looking straight ahead. Don't look at the floor. Just look straight ahead and get 30 of these in. Now you might hear what I call snap, crackle, and pop, and that occurs a lot, especially with people who are doing desk jobs or they've had a lot of repetitive motion in like forward head posture and like this on your computer. So I would not be surprised if you heard some noise. Now, once you do 30 going forward, we're going to go 30 backwards. And my cat is about to photobomb. She seems to like to be part of these videos, or at least people to know who she is. So we're going to do 30 of these puppies, just like that. These are standing shoulder rolls. There we go. We should be getting around to 30. Now, if you get tired or you feel like, okay, I just don't have the stamina to do this, then just do what you can, because movement is movement and we need to do it. We need to get oxygen into our lungs and we need to get that blood flowing and the lymph moving. When we're done with that 30, now we're going to do elbow curls standing. I'm going to take my glasses off because for some reason where my glasses are, it always hits me in the wrong place. At this point, you can put the block or the pillows between your knees like so. I prefer the block because it has a lot of density. If you're interested in these, you can email me. I have a friend who owns Pain Free at Sea. You can get them on Amazon Prime. They're very inexpensive and they're blue. This is not hers. My blue ones are at the office, and I'm obviously not at the office. I'm in my living room. So you want to put this between your knees. Don't put it way up here. Put it down around the knee, and you're just going to hold constant pressure. You're not going to push too hard. Now, what we're going to do is elbow curls. You're going to make a little, like a hitchhiker sign, and you're going to put your knuckles into your temples, and you're going to start moving those shoulders in and out. And you can see I'm pretty stiff right now, so I'm not really touching my elbows, but I'm doing the best that I can to get as much range of motion as possible. We're going to do 25 of these, and if you get tired, stop, and then you can start back up again. Some people are going to have a great deal of effort trying to move back and forth like this, and that's because those areas are very tight. You may feel the work in the neck. Nothing bad is happening other than getting your muscles moving in the proper range of motion, and the neck tension comes from being in forward head posture, and now that we're moving those muscles that are going to move that neck, we're going to feel it. So we're going to do 25 of those. Now, if you're someone that cannot stand, you're just going to do the same thing sitting down on the chair. Same position. Like this. Put the block here, just like that, and then do the open and close movement of the elbow curls. When you're sitting on the chair, you want to sit on the edge, and you want to feel your sit bones, and of course you want to be sitting upright, like you're at attention, like you're going to salute. Now we're going to do cats and dogs. So if you can get on the floor, you have no problem getting down on the floor or getting back up, then we'll start like this, tabletop position. Block out your elbows. And what you're going to do is you're going to leave the legs. You don't want to use the legs like this because that means we're not moving the pelvis. This is the pelvis or the booty. So we're going to go up like a cat, pull your pelvis underneath, just like that, and then go the other direction, look up, pull your shoulder blades together, and push your tail out. And we're going to do 10 of these, just like this. You see, I'm not really moving my legs. I'm moving my spine, and I'm letting it become more fluid. And it's very happy to do that because it doesn't like being in one position. Now, if you're someone who can't get on all fours, you can do it standing. Put your hands on your thighs and do the same thing, in and out. Blades together, pull the tail under. Shoulder blades together, tail under. Make sure those feet are correct. Like I taught you in the beginning, you don't want one ahead of the other and you don't want one turned out. That will change the muscle balance, and we want to balance the muscles. We don't want them imbalanced. Okay, when we're done with that, I wanted 12 of those. So if you haven't done 12, finish your 12 while I set up for the next exercise. Now we're going to use those chairs, and we're going to go into what you call the sitting chair twist. And this is a little bit of an upper body rotation. If you feel pain, not stretching, but pain. For me, in my language, when I talk to clients, I ask them, okay, is it bone pain or is it muscle stretching pain? 9 out of 10 times it's the muscle stretching and they call it pain, but really it's just tight muscles. So you're going to sit on the edge of the chair and you're going to sit upright, chest up, and you're going to put one hand over the right leg. I'm setting my timer here because we're going to have to use the timer for this. One hand over the right leg, and we're going to put the other hand out and we're going to turn. But in the process of doing this, you must sit upright. If you're down here, nothing's happening. When you're upright, you're going to feel where the work is or the tension. So let's go for 1 minute. You're going to stay like this for 1 minute. Big chest. Try to pull the shoulder blades back and together, and you'll feel that. Some of you will feel a lot of work down in here, and you might even get a little tiny spasm. I wouldn't get too worried about that. That just tells us that we're dealing with a weak muscle, and usually when we're tight, we have a weak muscle. Now, as we continue, if you can't hold this for 1 minute because it's just too much work, then stop. You're going to do the other side, but you also can go back and do this at a later date. And you'll see as the body begins to heal and it begins to change and shift, these exercises that seem very difficult are going to become very easy. They're not going to be challenging anymore. And that's the time that you want to go on to the next level. So I think we're close. Yep, our 1 minute is up. Now we're going to do the other minute. Oh, there we go. Okay, same thing. Left hand over left knee, out, chest up, pull the blades together, and we are now stretching the opposite side. You may find when you do this, there's a noticeable difference between the two sides. One side may seem very easy, and the other side may seem hard, and it might even be a little bit discomforting too. It may not, I hate to use the word pain, because pain to me is like I fell down and broke something. So you may feel a lot of work. Now I'm feeling the work differently on this. When rotating to the right, I feel more of the work down in here. So we're going to hold this position. Remember, you want to raise your chest up, because now we're in a good spinal position, and we're stretching those upper body muscles that have probably been in the same position for hours. Okay, you can come down. They've probably been in that position for hours anyway if you've been behind a desk or sitting. So it's good for them to move. Now, the second to last thing is we're going to do hip extensions. We're going to get that tail moving a little bit. So you can lay down on the floor. I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. You're going to start down on the floor, feet hip width apart. You're going to put palms up. You want your arms 45 degrees from your body. And I want you to think about pressing your shoulders into the floor. And then you're going to press up like this and squeeze your tail. We're going to do 25 of these, pushing the shoulders in while pushing up and squeezing the tail. If you start feeling work in the low back or the hamstring, that's a pretty good indicator that your muscle sequencing is off and you are using the wrong muscles, not on purpose, for an activity. That usually indicates imbalances and pain and stiffness. So while you're working on your 25, if you want to get a little bit more aggressive, you can put your feet up on the chair and go up like this. Same drill. All the way to the floor, up. All the way to the floor, up. This gives you a lot of range of motion in the pelvis, the flexion. This is extension, flexion, extension. And you may find that putting your feet on the floor versus putting your feet on the chair may actually be better. And it doesn't mean that one is harder than the other. It's just what works for you and your body. Last thing we're going to do, this is called a free squat, and it is going to last for 1 minute for those of you that can. And it's not a problem if you can't, because one thing that's the beauty of exercise and movement, it can be learned. So today you may not get the 1 minute, but maybe tomorrow you will, or the next day. I've started with things where I could only do 1 repetition. I thought, well, okay, tomorrow I'll get 2. So it's really just a process. No perfection, just progress. So this is what a free squat looks like. Again, you want to line those feet up, hip width apart, straight ahead. Don't have one foot in front of the other. You drop down like this. Now let's say you can't do that. Come up here. Or maybe you're saying, no, my knees hurt. A little word to the wise. When I have clients come in and tell me that they have knee issues, I know immediately they have a mechanical issue in the pelvis. So if you're not able to go like this, I'll show you what it looks like from the side. Because you're feeling too much knee pain, you can go higher up, like so, and try to put your weight back into your heels. And you're going to hold this for 1 minute. Some of you are going to be able to do deeper squats than others. Doesn't matter. This is about doing your best, no competition. So while our 1 minute is going, some of the stronger people are going to go down here. but they're used to doing that. It isn't something you just walk in and do. You have to have the strength to do it. Another way to do this is to go like this and pull the shoulder blades together. And you'll feel when you put your hands up, my fingers are touching here, I'm pulling my elbows back and pulling my shoulder blades together, you will feel the work will shift. Now that shifts me right off of my knees when I do that. But I can feel a lot of work going on in this upper back too. If you can't stand the full minute, you're just not ready for it, fine, then pop back up because you can do it. There's absolutely, I'll go from the front again, plenty of time to learn to do it right. Okay, we are done. I want to thank you very much. I hope you have a great day. I hope that this is able to give you a few things that you can do to make yourself feel better and to bring your body into balance. If some of the exercises aren't really your cup of tea or you can't do it, don't worry about it. Just do some of them. Thank you very, very much, and you have a wonderful day.